sometimes we get too obsessed about the idea we have of where we want to go and knowing it and feeling good about it, that you don't realize that the idea is just like the spirit or the feeling that can take you there, that confirms that you should be going in that direction. How it's going to happen, I think, the best part is just leave it to the world, as hard as that is, because there's so much uncertainty in that, right? And what we need is certainty. But when you give it up, the story becomes even more beautiful, more meaningful. As I said earlier, it's less commercial and more substantial, right? Meaning that it'll speak to your heart and won't speak to Instagram and TikTok.
Greatest time of my life. The greatest time of my life. The greatest time of my life.
Welcome to These Twenties.
Thank you.
So I decided to have you on the show. Honestly, I googled you, and then I said, no man, he has the content. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, I'm not going to disclose that I googled because I don't want to influence your answers. But I googled you and I said, no, the youth need to hear what the mayor has to say. You know what I mean? So that's why you're here today. So for the people that don't know you, please just give an introduction of who you are, your age, and what you do for a living.
Cool. My name is Mpumelelo Frypan. That is the official name. Frypan is the street's name. You can call me Frypan or Frypan. It's up to you, man. I am a lot of things. But what I do is I'm into entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, as they say so, right? But the theme that runs across different projects that I'm on is that I am always in the business of democratizing information and opportunity at the source of everything I do. That's the common theme.
You lost me at democratizing. I don't know what that means.
It's a big word, ne?
Yeah, I was like,
Just think of democracy. That's why I use it so much.
Okay.
Democracy is to give people access, as many people as possible access. So you can say like I act as like part of a government, an unofficial government, to give people access to more information and opportunity. You know what I mean? And the reason why I use that word is to show that it's not just about me. It involves a community. So it's about a community.
And then can you please share a story of how you got into everything you're doing? So you can go as far as you want.
For sure.
Just the story.
I mean, I think I grew up on that, played team sports when I grew up. Every game that we played was about team and community, right? But when it hit me, the spark hit me when I was in varsity. First year, I was meant to do economics or science, but my maths was like a bit shaky, right? So I ended up in the School of Liberal Arts, which is humanities. One of the subjects I chose was politics. I don't know why, it just sounded right. But the very first essay we had to write was on Steve Biko, I Write What I Like. So you pretty much had to study the man, study Black consciousness, and then a light flickered on me to say, everything I stand for is this. Actually, I've got a name for it now, I've got a reference for it now, and it's about community. So it all made sense from there. And from there, I was just taking that Black consciousness, writing what I like, doing what I like as a community, and making it work practically in this day and time within youth culture, because I am youth as well, you know what I mean? So that's a good place to start. And I think I'll be doing this for a very long time.
What I want to know, you touched a bit on you wanted to study science and then you realized, nah, that's not for me. So what I want to know is like, what is one story of redirection that completely changed your life, either for the better or for the worse? But like, please just share a story with us of like one pivotal moment in your life or two that completely redirected your life, but it was for the better.
Yeah, I think I'm going through it right now. A few months ago in May, I got to visit what is my ancestral homeland. My grandfather's house, pretty much, And I got there because I haven't been there in years. I went there as a toddler. I was taken there as a toddler. And between then and now, I hadn't been there, but a work research. So it was like a research program, not a program, it was just research work that was given. And they said, go to this place with the team and go do research. And little did they know that that's my ancestral homeland. And I've been there a couple of times since then, including last week. And I think that's the process I'm going through right now, and it's pretty much a big part of the puzzle that would define what I'm about and who I'm about. And, and these things that I've always known and suspected by myself, I'm able to explain them well now because I'm able to go to just that space and also discover that one of my grandmothers donated her land to build a school there. So it's no coincidence that I also work with school and I'm also in the youth development space. It's always been in like the family, but me going back, I'm able to explain who I am and what I'm about and be it boldly. So I am currently going through that, and I'm learning so much. I don't even take pictures of that, because it's that intelligence I was telling you about. You just need to know what it is that you're about, and the rest is just operational, man. What's it yours, whether in New York or Nairobi, you can be yourself wherever you are and have that as like a backup to say, we've always been in this, in tough times, you know. And that's what you need sometimes, because you go through so much in whatever we do that you need to have something of greater substance to keep you going.
Slay, I want to touch on, you said you work with the youth.
Yes.
Initially, this question was said to ask you, but what would you say to the youth that you work with to prepare them for like redirection and like things not going according to the plan that they have for their lives? What advice would you give them in order to be able to handle those situations? For sure.
Well, to anybody who's youthful or a youth, and just planning to go whichever direction, I'd say this, man. Sometimes we get too obsessed about the idea we have of where we want to go and knowing it and feeling good about it, that you don't realize that the idea is just like the spirit or the feeling that can take you there, that confirms that you should be going in that direction. How it's going to happen, I think, the best part is just leave it to the world, as hard as that is, because there's so much uncertainty in that, right? And what we need is certainty. But when you give it up, the story becomes even more beautiful, more meaningful. As I said earlier, it's less commercial and more substantial, right? Meaning that it'll speak to your heart and won't speak to Instagram and TikTok. And that's where it should be, you know what I mean? These things, they come and go because we've lived without them and we're gonna live a future without them. But who you are and how your life works out and how it'll unfold, just give it to the world, maybe 50% of it. Just open yourself up to, the beauty of the world. Then the rest, you also have to have a grip. You have to have a grip of your own life and personal behavior. So meaning, I just think we should just have control of our personal behavior, how we approach any situation. Is it an optimistic way? Is it a pessimistic way? And that's what you're in control of. That's what you're in governance of. The rest is up to your pretty much approach. If the situation is bad, if you approach it good, it can come up being an opportunity that you learn from. If it's a good opportunity, then you can maximize it to the max if you have the right approach. So all in all, it starts with you, govern yourself, and everything will fall into place.
Slay.
Yes.
Last question.
Yes.
There are so many people who try to make it where you are. Like, I was Googling you because I already knew you. I said there's so much more to him that I feel like I get to,
yeah.
And I Googled and it said, usually when you Google yourself, well, I've Googled myself. Not much shows up. It's like, hey, YouTube channel. You know what I mean? But yours, it was extensive, right? So there are a lot of people in life that have tried to get where you are, to get into the rooms you're in. What is it about you that sets you apart?
Man, I wish I could answer that question directly. Maybe it's for other people. But I'd say this from my perspective is that everything I've done, I never really dreamt of doing it. I had an idea that I could do it, but it just came in good time, especially in good time, A lot of things I'm doing now, I probably would have killed to do them 10 years ago because that was the right time. Clouds and all of that stuff. But I'd learned to appreciate that it came in good time. And all I had to do was just prepare myself by educating myself in certain things I want to do. If I want to be an actor, I go to theater and learn how to act. If I want to write, I go do a writing course, If I want to do certain things, I pick up the camera and do them myself and improve while people are watching in real time, So all in all, I've just been very playful. I've just been that guy that commits themselves to what they want to do, and that has really worked.
Thank you so much for coming. My biggest takeaway
Yes.
is to not be so rigid. I am a rigid person, so when you gave advice to the youth, I say, period, just chill, just do what you gotta do, and
For sure.
just let the rest go. It also reminded me of a scripture that what the devil meant for evil, God can turn around for your good. So when there's a TikTok, I know you're not chronically online like me, that says, but when you change your perspective, that's when things start changing and shifting. So thank you so much for sharing your story. We appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for giving me the platform, and keep on going, man. I think what you're doing is just more important as you do it. You know what I mean? Just doing it, where it's gonna take us, we don't know. There might be 2 people viewing this, but it's the right 2 people. So from me to you, don't stop. I wish I did this back then as well. So I'm glad somebody is doing it.
Thank you.
Greatest time of my life. The greatest time of my life. The greatest time of my life.